Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome to Comics in 5 Minutes. I am your ever-loving host, Jorty, and today I'm going to be reviewing from Black Caravan and imprint of Scout Comics, Black Friday. I've reviewed a Black Caravan comic book last week, The Shepherd, I think it was called. I remember at the time quite enjoying it, but the more times passed, the more it's been like, well, so little of it stayed with me that I think my initial thoughts of maybe not as good as I thought it was were a little bit more on the nose. I think sometimes I get like caught up into the things I like more than the things that I don't like, which probably isn't good for a review. I probably should be just way more honest and talk about things that actually matter rather than just how it appeals to me. But such is life. You know, I do these things just for my own entertainment more than anything else, and I do them live, so I don't really worry about editing them, and it's generally just a stream of conscience. And with that in mind, let's talk about Black Friday, something which manages quite effectively to mix an almost film noir styling with a horror movie as a comic book, obviously. And it does this by use of really nice framing, great first-person narration, and a genuinely well-thought-out sense of timing. But before we get into all that kind of stuff, and talk about the artwork. I've shown you the cover already, okay? When I saw that and then when I opened up, I was a little bit disappointed because that is such a bold thing on the cover. But inside, it's a little more soft, a little less detailed, a little more playful even. The characters look almost caricaturish, almost cartoonish. Not in a terrible way, though. My first thought actually was it reminded me a little bit of The Complete Moon Shadow by James DeMatteis, and that's one of my all-time favorite comic books. So that kind of spare art style, where the detail isn't really overwrought and they let splashes of colour play around. And this one also uses blacks and negative space really, really effectively. Doesn't go over the top on it. It's not like Sin City black on white, or rather white on black, should I say, if I want to use black. But when they use it very effectively. There's one particular moment where I think they, if anything, slightly overplay it, because up until that point, I was thoroughly enjoying how well they're doing it to draw your eye to something in the midst of soft pastel colours and well-lit areas and quite bold character designs. The blackness draws your attention to where it actually belongs. They overplay it a little bit where they actually then have some eyes in that blackness, which, you know, drawing your eye to it and everything, it just felt a little bit on the nose. But can't really complain, because that's what it wanted to do. It did it, and it did it in a way that also weirdly attempted a jump scare. In a comic book is a very difficult thing. It's almost not worth bothering, but I like the attempt on it. And the rest of the horror comes about through the noir stylings of it and the slow burn. It's very much a tell rather than show, in fact, something which I usually rally against. I'm all about bringing me into the world without telling me exactly how you're doing it. Because this is first-person narration, though, and the artwork for the most part is just, you know, a well-lit star mart, I believe they call it. Totally not the Walmart, on cleaning up after Black Friday. So it's all garish lighting and pastel colours and white shelves. So you don't really get the sense of horror until you get near the end. But they still manage to build up effectively by using tension and describing things in a way which makes it horrifying if you imagine you were experiencing it. If you were living that life and the things that were occurring to the narrator and the main character were occurring to you at the same pace, that slow creeping sense of unease it would massively unnerving, because it isn't just, here is a scary thing. They play around with the idea that there is something else going on there, but then they throw a spanner into the works with that one by having the resident psychic be somebody nobody really believes in, and people kind of mock. And when they're invited to go along with her to haunt houses, they make up excuses. They don't have to. Then having it play out that she's actually correct, but they never then give her the easy payoff. They still have her be kind of weird and over the top. The character kind of comes to mind again here as a character description. She's every kind of perky goth girl into the supernatural who believes that she can sense things passing through the veil, and she's got like her own lexicon, which when people don't use it correctly, she corrects them on it. This is all very good character development as well, because it makes me want to know more about this person. Even the the ostensible bad guy, the boss, he's got his own little things as well, affectations such as his jewelry and his hair and his beard, all play into who he is. One of my favorite things is how they stand. There's something, even though the bad guy, the boss, the supervisor, is a shorter person, kind of is drawn as hunched over as well, as if he has a natural power to himself and shouldn't need to tower over other people because everyone else towers over him. There's an awful lot to like about this one. My initial thoughts when I opened it and saw the artwork and was a little bit like, oh, well, this is not expecting based on the cover. Very quickly allayed when you realise that the garishness, the brightness, the lack of detail, because everything is just like brought into just the same kind of level as focus because of the lighting, is part of what makes it something scary when something real happens. One of my favourite things that horror movies can do, and it's rare when it happens, it's brilliant. I mean, Babadook off the top of my head is in a well-lit room in the middle of the day surrounded by people still terrify me. It doesn't have to be at night in a boiler room and by yourself. Managed to scare me when I shouldn't be scared, and that is a sign of a really, really good bit of horror writing. So yeah, I am a fan. Check this out; it's very, very good. That's it from me. I'm probably gonna do it from home tomorrow because I don't have any reason to come to the shop. So you're gonna potentially get my dog or a cat. Either way, stay safe, look after yourself, and bye.